All right, guys. Robert here, Blazing Press Channel. All right, we're live here. We're going to be covering what's happening here in real time as it unfolds here, as the breaking news is fast and furiously coming across our feed. It is happening right now in Qatar and beyond. There is a concerted um, coordinated attack that may, in fact, actually be happening at this very moment against U.S. forces in the Middle East. Qatar has completely shut off airspace, evacuations, shelter in place orders from many countries right now, telling their citizens inside of Kuwait or Qatar to prepare for attacks. So, but there's also, it's happening all over the Middle East. So, Israeli jets are now in the air. We're going to chronicle it to you as it's unfolding. We have some very good sources of information that are given to us before it actually hits even alternative media, mainstream media, for sure. We're way out in front of all the unfolding events. And so we're gonna screenshot all the things that are happening as it happens here. So just the latest right now, multiple bases are going to be attacked. Sources tell me this is no small attack. This guy's intel has been right on, accurate before events happen. I completely, and this guy's been contacted by media about his sources because he's got some sources that are very accurate, high level information. So everything that he has, and I follow this guy. He's right on in many ways with everything that he's reported over the last. I don't know. I've been following really close for the last few months, but low flying jets are now being reported over Baghdad, Iraq. It says the Saudis are now mulling to close their airspace. The EAU is also closing its airspace, from what I understand. Um, Trump, did you see what Trump just said to Medvedev, the former president of Russia? Remember, there was a period of time where Russia's president went from Putin to Medvedev. Well, he's still very high level in government there, and he had said some things yesterday on social media about supplying Iranians nuclear warheads, and Trump responded today, basically threatening back with nuclear submarines. I just can't believe this. I can't believe what Trump said there. This is literally, we are on the brink of literal global war. And we told you guys this was what was going to happen. This is exactly what. That's why my picture is an underground bunker, because I know where this is all going. Saudi Arabia is now mulling to close its airspace. And let me just post that really quick. I got to post all of this stuff here really quickly on my page. If you're not following our Telegram page, you need to be very up on that, because that is real-time intel. Before anything hits the fan, you're going to know it right there. We have lots and lots of sources that we draw from right there. Okay, breaking: credible threat of an Iranian missile attack threatening the Al Aded Air Base in Qatar. This is according to BBC. All of this now is hitting mainstream, but we were telling you this about a half hour ago before anybody was saying it. We were sharing all this information in real time before anybody was reporting it in mainstream. Nobody was reporting this about 45 minutes ago. It was probably more like 45 minutes ago, maybe an hour. Let's see. It's 9:30 here. We were reporting it at 8:30. So it's been an hour. We were telling people at 8:39 that U.S. jets were scrambling from Saudi Arabia. And that was at 8:39. So that was an hour ago. So you want to be up on stuff. Make sure you're tapped into our Blazing Press channel on Telegram. All right, here's more. Credible threat. Okay, so this is noise of explosions over eastern Syria is due to low-flying jets breaking the sound barrier. No airstrikes as of now. We're monitoring the situation. GPS disruptions all over the United Arab Emirates. That's usually a prelude to something happening, kinetic conflict, war breaking out. Kumta alerts are now going off in Israel. There's something going on in Israel, too. U.S. officials tell the Wall Street Journal that Iran is positioning missile launchers for a potential attack on American forces in the Middle East in retaliation for the recent U.S. strikes on 3 nuclear sites. As we reported yesterday, Wall Street Journal is now reporting it today. Kumta alerts, as I said, are going off now in Israel. More updates here, right? Let me get this really quick. Gosh, there's just so much coming in here. Seeing a lot of movement of U.S. Okay, so hope they don't hit any embassies. There are credible threats on U.S. embassies also. U.S., Israel, and British aircraft are patrolling over Iraq after strong intelligence of Iran-backed militant movement. We could be seeing preemptive strikes. Okay, stand by. Qatar air defense systems are now active. Qatari air systems are now active, and that's pretty big. That means they're getting ready to shoot some stuff down here. All of the airspace has been shut down over Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia is also, UAE is also preparing to shut down their airspace. Israeli jets are now moving in to strike launchers preemptively. This is all unfolding right now. Israeli official, Iran has now fired toward Qatar and Iraq. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, that's happening right now. Iran just fired on American targets inside of Qatar and Iraq. All right. Interceptors ongoing over Doha right now. Interceptions are now going on over Doha. All right, let me post all the. I'm posting this real time here. Doha is that, what is Doha? Is that Qatar? I can't remember. Where is Doha? Okay, it is Qatar. So it is Qatar. The capital of Qatar is Doha, and that is happening right now. Multiple explosions now over Doha. Multiple explosions now over Doha. Several Iranian ballistic missiles fired at U.S. Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar. Several Iranian ballistic missiles have been fired at U.S. base. All right, we're going to be showing you guys as soon as the footage is available. We will get it first right here. Nobody is going to beat the speed at which we put it out. Okay, just so you know, we are going to get you everything right here. We have all the sources that everybody draws from and more. We have a lot more sources that they don't have. So we get a lot of stuff right here. 6 Iranian missiles have been launched at Qatar. 6. We're monitoring Middle East feeds all over the Middle East right now. Several explosions at American bases in Doha. Several explosions now at American bases inside of Qatar at Doha. Iranian ballistic missiles incoming toward U.S. bases in Iraq. U.S. bases in Iraq are now under fire from incoming hypersonic missiles that cannot be defended against. Hello. They're coming into our bases now, all over the Middle East. Explosions in Qatar, and now missiles on their way now to Iraq, into Iraq. U.S. bases are now under fire in Iraq. Fire is reported at U.S. Air Force Al Adud base in Qatar. I don't know how to exactly say that. Adud. I don't know. But we've got fires now at the bases inside of the Air Force bases in Qatar. Explosions now over Iraq. 6 missiles that were launched by Iran towards Qatar were all intercepted, but we're hearing that there was impacts on other channels. So we're just kind of, a lot of this is just, we'll have confirmation as time goes on, but a lot of this is real time, on the ground information right now coming out on Telegram. A few days ago, the U.S. transferred all of its aircraft to this Air Force base in Qatar, and that's the one that's now being targeted. Let's see what else we got here. Let's go World War III. People are saying this is it. This is what the U.S. wanted. That's what people are saying. This is what the U.S. wanted. What did they do this for? Okay, we got visuals now coming in. First visuals over Doha. All right, here we go. We're posting right now. We have the first visuals now over Doha. Let's go ahead and look at that. We've got more on southern Iraq as well. Let me just pull all this information up so you can see it here in real time. All right, here's the first visuals right now. Visuals in Doha. This is Qatar, the capital of Doha. Everything is going to start flowing in here in any time here, guys. We're just hold tight. Multiple interceptions now over southern Iraq is taking place now. Intel's okay, so we've got Qatar. We've got another video right now of Qatar. Hold on one second. We got 2 videos now. Hold on. Let me post these both. This is Qatar. All right. Work of the air defenses inside of Qatar are now happening. Just posting right now. Okay, here we go. Almost. All right.
Allahu Akbar. Madam.
This is Qatar air defenses. Iranian missiles incoming. Iranian missiles coming in. Look at this. U.S. air base. Wow. 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 Amazing. All right, here's some more footage. It's also Qatar here. We're getting some of this from our other sources too. This is all coming in from, we got a list of about 20 different sources right now that are very good. Alarms at U.S. Al-Harar Air Base in Iraq are now sounding. Harar in Iraq. U.S. bases are now sounding alarms. Okay, we got more here. The air defenses. Okay, we got that. They're posting after we got it. So some of our sources are better than others at certain moments, but they're all coming in. Everybody is looking at everybody else's stuff here that are posting. New launches now is according to another source. New launches are now happening. Okay, explosions are being heard across Doha. Axios is now reporting that. Okay, here's some more footage here. Let me see. So they launched one rocket or one missile to Iraq, targeting U.S. bases in each country, 6 to Qatar. Axios correspondent says that Iran launched 6 missiles so far. So is there still more coming? We got to wonder, is this just the beginning or is this the end? Is this just the beginning or is it that just the end? Where did that song come from? I'm thinking it's Hotel California. More launches from Iran towards U.S. bases. More launches now. So there are more launches incoming. Alarms are also going off in Bahrain and Iraq. Alarms are now going off in Bahrain and Iraq. Some of the missiles that were launched at a Ain al-Assad U.S. base in Iraq. Some of the missiles were launched from, I think, the interceptors took off in Iraqi skies toward Iranian missiles. So some of the interceptors came from Iraq. All right, new. Okay, somebody says no new ballistic missile launches, but I just heard that there was more. Okay, so now he says, and now they have just launched more. So, wrong. More missiles are coming. They're headed towards Bahrain. That's what we just said that, right? Did we not just say that? Okay. Bahrain is where they're headed now. Alarms at the U.S. Al-Har Air Base in Iraq. Okay, we told you that. Alarms are now sounding at Ali Al-Salam base in Kuwait. So now they're going toward Kuwait. Uh-oh. Kuwait is now under fire. Kuwait. These were diversionary tactics. What was that? Additional footage of air defense work over Doha. Okay, this was. Did we get this already? Okay, we didn't see this one yet. Let's put that one up. Okay, it just takes a minute for it to upload here. Hold on.
Allahu Akbar.
That's amazing footage. Okay, this one here. All right, this just came out.
لا إله إلا الله. لا
This is
إله
the air
إلا الله.
defenses, Doha.
Southwest, coming from the direction of Al-Udaid. Windows are shaking. لا إله إلا الله.
Make sure you become a member of our YouTube page. Subscribe and become a member for member-only information and video. Not to mention our giveaways. $500 plus giveaway here in just about a week and a half. So get ready for that. But be a part of what we're doing here and support our work. We are not getting ad revenue. A lot of our ads are just being completely stopped. So just continue to support us in every way you can. Keep us on the air. We definitely need your guys' support here. All right, Intel Slav is now saying Operation Basharat at Al-Fatah against U.S. bases in the Middle East has begun. This is Operation... okay, so this is what they're calling it. The Iranian... They're calling it the Operation Basharat Al-Fatah against U.S. bases in the Middle East has begun. What does this mean? Let me see. I'm trying to figure out what that means. Alarms are also happening in Iraq and Bahrain. Okay, some missiles that were launched. Okay, we got that. President Trump is now in the White House Situation Room. Well, he better be there. UAE has closed its airspace officially now. We gave you a heads up on that. Sadly, there are explosions now at the Al-Assad Air Base in Iraq. Somebody said, okay, so there are explosions at the air base. They're using hypersonics, so I don't know how you would defend against that. The UAE has closed its airspace. Did I already say that one? Yeah, I already said that one. Okay, that just happened. The Iranian regime's television station reports that Iran has launched an operation against American bases in the Gulf. We already told you the name of that. The name of that operation. I'm going to look it up in Arabic to see what it means, but alarms that are now in Kuwait. Reports of French, British, and American fighter jets over the Persian Gulf. Sirens now at U.S. bases in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia bases are under fire right now. Saudi Arabia bases. What did you expect? What did you expect? Okay, this is why we try to tell everybody this is bad. This is bad. We're going to end up being involved. And, you know, Trump needs something massively huge to traumatize the whole world, especially the United States, in order to salvage whatever's left of what he's doing, because it's so stupid. You know, this is the only thing that's going to cause everybody to rally behind what he's, you know, behind the government here, is some massive collective shaking down to the core of your being. You're so afraid that we're at the doorstep of annihilation through nukes. I mean, we're threatening Russia right now back with nuclear attacks through submarines. Did you see what he just said to Russia? He just said this to Russia. I'll show you in just a second. All right, hold on. UAE closes its airspace. Okay, so this is, yeah, it's all closed. All of the aircrafts are doing U-turns. Look at this. UAE is closing its airspace, and all kinds of aircrafts are now turning around. Hold on. Well, look at this. They're just like, oh no. They're like ruh-roh, Shaggy. Incoming missiles. Very interesting. This is genius. This is genius level stuff. This is only something that geniuses do, by the way. Guys, this is something that only geniuses do. You know that, right? And we know that Trump is a genius. He even said it himself. A stable genius. He's actually stable. He said he's stable. He's not only a genius, but he's a stable genius. Trump is in the Situation Room. Okay, we said that. Initial reports of 3 impacts at the U.S. base in Al Adud. Okay, so there is 3 impacts. That's not good. That is not good. Coalition of jets are now intercepting Iranian drones over Qatar, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and UAE airspace. All right, so I think we have some more footage here out of Qatar. Qatar. How do you say it? Qatar? Qatar. Qatar. You know, I had a relative that was at the base in Qatar not too long ago. Thank God they're not there anymore. All right, so here's some more visuals on what's happening in Qatar. All right, so somebody says here, what is interesting is that Iran's attack on American bases began after the Iranian foreign minister's visit to Moscow and meeting with Putin. Uh-oh. Okay, I'm going to show you what Trump said. You guys want to see what Trump said? Tell me what you think about this. Let's pull this up. All right, so this is what Trump said. Okay, in response to this, wait, no, I'm sorry. Let's look at the first one first. This is what Trump said today. Did I hear former President Medvedev of Russia casually throw around the N-word, nuclear, and saying that he and other countries would supply warheads to Iran? Nuclear warheads, by the way, which I think they already have. I think China probably already gave Iran's. They probably already have nuclear warheads. Did he really say that, or is this just a figment of my imagination? If he did say that, and if confirmed, please let me know immediately. The N-word should not be treated so casually. I guess that's why Putin's the boss. By the way, if anyone thinks our hardware was great over the weekend, far and away the strongest and the best equipment we have, I don't know why he needs to boast about it. Just do it. I don't hear Russia boasting about, I don't hear China boasting about stuff. They just do it. Always remember, the quiet one's the one you got to be worried about, not the one who's making all kinds of loud, boisterous boasts. Those are not the people that you worry about as much. So then he says, the strongest equipment that we have 20 years advanced over the pack is our nuclear submarines. They are the most powerful and lethal weapons ever built, and just launched the 30 Tomahawks. All 30 hit their mark perfectly. So in addition to our great fighter pilots, thank you to the captain and the crew. This is in response to Medvedev's statement here, where he He says, what have the Americans accomplished with their nighttime strikes on 3 nuclear sites in Iran? Critical infrastructure of the nuclear fuel cycle appears to have been unaffected or sustained only minor damage. And then he says, number 2, Medvedev says the enrichment of nuclear material, and now we can say it outright, the future production of nuclear weapons will continue. A number of countries are ready to directly supply Iran with their own nuclear warheads. This is according to Medvedev on Twitter. And this is what Trump responded to. Now, is this just a bunch of theater to literally put the world in stark terror and fear of what is about to happen in terms of nuclear attacks by Iran with nuclear hypersonic missiles, probably tactical? I mean, I'm talking about tactical hypersonic missiles possibly being in possession, Iran being in possession of. That's something that should frighten everybody in the sense of knowing that they can do something to us and other countries because their missiles will hit their targets and get past defenses. That's one thing about hypersonics is it's very hard to defend against this technology. Okay, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard is about to release a statement shortly. Okay, and now they say, okay, so the statement, I'm going to look this up and see what this means. But the name of the operation, I told you the name of the operation, and I can't really pronounce Arabic, so I'm going to go ahead and look this up. It says Barakat al-Fatah. That's the name of the operation. Let me see what this means. Okay, here, we'll just do a Google search really quick what this means here. Okay, so it means in English, let's look it up, let's translate it here. English, please. Where's English? Why can't I find English? Latin. Oh gosh. Okay, wait a minute. Oh, okay, here it is. English. Okay, Arabic. Okay, hold on. Okay, it means blessings of familiarity. Blessings of familiarity. I think what it means is they're going to do the same thing back. Familiarity, I think, is probably their way of saying similar response. This is tit for tat kind of thing. That's what I think it means. Okay, so we have more information. Sad to see so many channels. Okay, so this is Qatari Ministry of Defense reports that Qatari air defenses intercepted a missile aimed at, okay, the Strait of Hormuz has not been closed down. So a lot of people that are reporting that it's been closed down, I haven't heard that it's closed down. I haven't said it. Okay, we got more. Okay, we have more visuals here out of. All right, that's nothing there. Let's see here. Okay, 3 direct hits on. Okay, so we have the moment that missiles hit the airbase. Let's see. I don't see anything.
Fuck!
Okay. There's a few flashes. Okay. So there is a few flashes in the distance there. I'll post that. This is early reports of 3 direct hits on the airbase in Qatar of the U.S. airbase. Let's post that so you can kind of see it. It's just a few flashes in the distance, but you can't really see the explosions, but you can see the flashes. Okay, here it is right here. If you look really carefully, you'll see flashes in the distance. See, there was one right there. I'll scroll back one more time. Right there. You see that flash?
Fuck! Faraj! أول ضربة أول ضربة
Yeah. So you can see it, right?
fuck! Faraj!
So there was probably a couple of them because they started filming and they caught the last one. There was, from what I understand, there was 3 different hits on the air bases. So U.S. has been hit 3 times inside of Qatar. Iranian media now publishes 3D rendering of Al Adu Air Base. Let me see here. By the way, Trump was playing golf when all this stuff was going down with Iran, when they were about to hit Iran. So Iran publishes a 3D rendering of the Al. I'm gonna post that really quick. Let's just look at that here. Let's just look at the. Okay, just for right here, we'll just chronicle it here on YouTube. Okay, so that's that. All tanker activity on the 13th of June in the Strait of Hormuz. Let's see if we can play that there. Oh my goodness, look at this. This is absolutely crazy. It says the Strait of Hormuz is a critical global checkpoint due to its strategic and economic significance, and they're going to literally shut it down. Oil and gas transit. It's the world's most important oil transit route with roughly 20 to 30% of all global oil supply. About 21 million barrels a day. And significant liquefied natural gas, or LNG, that passes through. Major producers like Saudi Arabia, Iran, UAE, Kuwait, and Iraq rely on it to export to markets in Asia, Europe, and beyond. Geopolitical leverage. Here, let me just post this so you can see it. This is just a visual. This is a visual so you can see, like, all the traffic that goes through on a daily basis. This is the strait right here. This is where they're going to shut this off. This little area right here is going to be mined, and it's going to be attacked by these speedboats that they have. These probably they're drone speedboats that have huge amounts of explosives. They're going to mine the whole area with mines, and nothing is going to go through. Guys, they're going to shut this off. You know what's going to happen to oil prices? Listen, Oil prices are going to go up to $400 a barrel, $300 to $400. 4% is usually what your price is going to be at the gas pump. 4% of what the price of oil is per barrel. So if it gets to $400 a barrel, do you know what your gas prices are going to be? Take a guess. I think I calculated $12 a gallon. $12 a gallon. I told you it was going to go up to we're going to see $10 a gallon plus. I think it's going to be more than that. It could even be 15. But let's just see. 400 times 0.04. Oh, actually, it's $16 a gallon. Okay, so $300 a barrel would be $12 a gallon. And if it went up to $400 a barrel, which is it's a very real possibility with all this happening, you could see gas prices skyrocket to $16 a gallon here in the U.S. $16 a gallon. So, it's all Biden's fault. This is not what I did. Biden did this. I'm just trying to clean up the mess. This is not our fault. We inherited this dumpster fire. And I'm not saying that Biden didn't do anything, but this is all part of the plan to exacerbate, to make everything much worse, to bring in new mRNAs like we've never seen before on top of the vaccine daddy that MAGA seems to want to deny exists. He didn't know what he was doing. His advisors advised him wrong. Or he just wanted to kill off his opponents, all of his, Democrats that are stupid enough to take it. This mentality is what's gotten us into this situation, everybody. We're here because of that stupid mentality. I'm sorry, but I'm a little bit frustrated with people that don't think. But then again, that's a part of the end time scenario anyway. People that don't think are just blindly following blind leaders over the cliff, and that's exactly what has to happen anyway. It's predestined for that to happen. So I don't know why I'm frustrated with it. It's just a part of what's going to happen. So I should probably be just at peace with it. We're all about to see the end times unfold right before our very eyes, so I guess that's okay. I guess you're all right with it too, right? Are you guys all good with it? Well, we're gonna have to pray. We're gonna have to pray. Otherwise, I'm gonna get in the flesh here. I'm gonna need to pray. Qatar says that it reserves the right to respond following the Iranian attack. So Qatar is also now saying that they will respond. Global war, World War III. Qatar is now saying that it will respond. Reports of alarms at U.S. bases in Saudi Arabia. Let's see. American fighter jets take off from... Okay, we got that. Okay, what is this? Oh, yeah. Qatari airstrikes. I think we might have posted that. Reports of additional attacks inside of Iraq. This was 15 minutes ago. And this reports of 3 impacts. Okay, so we got the 3 impacts. It appears that there have been 3 direct hits on a large American base in Qatar. There are no casualties as the base was evacuated several days ago, but damage has been caused. Iran's armed forces, the Revolutionary Guards, attacked the American base in Qatar with a devastating and powerful missile attack as part of Operation Blessings of Victory. Remember I told you it was blessings of familiarity, but it says blessings of victory is what it means. So the actual operations is named Blessings of Victory. Okay, so far there are no reports of a launch towards Bahrain or Oman, although alerts have been activated in these countries. Reports of a drone attack on U.S. military bases inside of Iraq. That was about 10 minutes ago. President Trump is now in the White House Situation Room, monitoring the threats. Okay, we were okay. According to sources who were briefed on the details, the attack was coordinated with countries in the region. So they're saying that American probably knew about the attacks in advance. All right, the Revolutionary Guards threaten any further attack. The Revolutionary Guard threatens any further attack will lead to the collapse of the American military in the region. So they're saying if we retaliate, it will result in the collapse of America's military in the region. And it says they also warned that the era of confrontation was over and any act of mischief by Iran's enemies would accelerate the collapse of the American military establishment and its flight from West Asia. It was argued that such steps would help achieve the goal of eradicating the cancerous growth of Zion. So this was Qatar condemns the attack. Qatar says that it reserves the right to respond. Bahrain's interior ministry says sirens have sounded and urges residents to stay calm and shelter in place. So Bahrain is now having alarms right at this moment. Bahrain. Yeah. This is according to X, Bahrain's interior ministry on X. So Iran's top Security Council tells Qatar that its attack poses no threat to its friendly and brotherly neighbor. So they're saying that don't respond. We're not trying to attack you. Iran's armed forces say they carried out a devastating and powerful missile attack on the base in Qatar. It goes on to say, I doubt. Okay. So most of the attack is over. Sirens have gone off. Jets are threatening, are retreating as we speak. There could be one impact in Iraq's al-Assad air base. It's still not confirmed yet. Most of the jets are returning. But there was reports of something going on in Bahrain. So not sure if that's still happening. Okay, so prices of oil are plunging due to very weak and pathetic Iranian strikes. Somebody said that. The prices of crude oil are actually going down. Okay. Somebody said this was a theatrical show. All parties knew the plot and the outcome in advance. This was permitted to allow the Iranians a way to save face. You think? Because it didn't really look like there was a whole lot of damage. At least not at this moment. Reports in Iran that the response ended successfully and all of its goals were achieved. Uh-oh. American fighter jets are now taking off toward Iran from the base in Saudi Arabia. So I guess we could be seeing some action now inside of Iran. Israeli jets could also be moving in to strike Iran right now. So Not only are American jets moving, but Israeli jets are now also moving. I didn't know we had Snake Plissken in the house. I thought you were dead, Snake. Are you going to help save the president? Just don't cross the Duke. You don't want to cross the Duke. Nobody crosses the Duke. It's just beginning, Chad. You're absolutely right. This is just beginning. This is not the end. It's just the beginning. All those involved in killing, let's see, what does it say? Okay, all the mods in the house. Thank you guys for hanging out and keeping some order. We don't really have a whole lot of problems. The Duke let you go. The Duke let you go. You got to watch out for the Duke, though. You're not supposed to cross him. I'm just wondering where they got all the gas from. How'd they get that gas to get them all around? This is called the what was it, Escape from New York? English, good to see you, man. English. Retaliation is not an act of strength. It is an act of weakness. Right. You should, if you're going to do something, do it big and do it strong and do it as an attack, right? Not as a retaliation. Let's just kind of hang out for just a minute to see if anything else pops off. If not, we're gonna close it down here. The cabbie. Okay, so we have some more news here. It says Bahrain closes its airspace. So yeah, there is still something going on. Bahrain is closing its airspace, and there's fears that something else is happening right there now in Bahrain. So maybe the bases inside of Bahrain are under attack. I guess we're going to find out here in just a minute. Iran sources to the New York Times. Tehran coordinated the attack with the U.S. and Qatar to minimize the damage. What? Are you kidding me? Iran needs the ability to respond symbolically, but allow the U.S. to get out of allow the U.S. to get out of it. The sources noted that this is a similar pattern of actions to Iran's revenge response for the assassination of Qasem Soleimani in January of 2020 in launches against the al-Assad base in Iraq. Remember that? Reports indicate that Bahrain is closing its airspace. So they're saying symbolic, like Iran is really not wanting to do anything to further any conflict with the U.S., but this is symbolic. I don't know. It looks kind of stupid to me. Unless they really did something that would damage America. At this point, they're not doing anything major, it doesn't look like to me. This is according to the New York Times. I'll post that so you guys can see that. Yeah, keep up on our Telegram page because that's where everything is compiled. You will find everything right there in real time. Even when we don't go live, you'll find everything right there. Okay, here's a statement by the Iranian Armed Forces just a few minutes ago. This is what they said, just so you know. The noble and resistant nation of Iran, following the blatant military aggression of the criminal regime of the United States of America against the peaceful nuclear facilities of the Islamic Republic of Iran, and the clear violation of international law by the order of the Supreme National Security Council and the leadership of the central headquarters of the Rasul al-Azam, the IRGC, with the sacred code of Ya Aba Abdullah al-Hussein. I have no idea what that means. The sacred code has targeted the Al-Udeid base in Qatar with a devastating and powerful missile attack in Operation Basharat Fatah. This base is the headquarters of the Air Force and the largest strategic asset of the U.S. terrorist army in the West Asia region. West Asian. The message of this decisive action of the sons of the nation in the armed forces is clear and unequivocal for the White House and its allies. The message is the Islamic Republic of Iran, relying on God Almighty, relying on the faithful and famous people of the Islamic Iran, will not leave its territorial integrity, sovereignty, and national security unanswered under any circumstances. With the aggression of the American enemy, it became clear to everyone that the evil of the Zionists was an extension of the Americans' design. Accordingly, we remind you that in this national defense, the U.S. bases and mobile military targets in the region are not a point of strength, but rather a major weakness and a thorn in the side of this warmongering regime. On the eve of the month of Muharram, the month of mourning for the leader and commander of the martyrs, Hazrat Abu Abdul al-Husan, we once again warn the enemies of the Islamic Iran that the era of hit and run is over, and the will of the country's powerful people's armed forces, and the will of the country's powerful people armed forces. I don't know what that means. Any repetition of U.S. aggression will lead to the acceleration of the collapse of the U.S. military pillars in the region, their ignominious escape from West Asia, and the realization of the common aspiration of the Islamic Ummah and the freedom-loving nations of the world in eradicating the cancerous tumor of Zion. All right, whatever. That was what the statement said just a little bit ago. So one of the Islamic channels said this. This is what they said. This was clearly a symbolic attack, which I expected and was the correct move. This is what he said. As I said before, in my opinion, we should just focus on Israel and not hit the U.S. But if you're going to launch enough missiles to even cause some impacts, then why even launch an attack at all? I do not understand the logic. No attack is better than a weak attack, honestly speaking, but I trust our leadership and heroes of the. So this is what somebody that's Islamic and may in fact be Iranian too is saying. One of the Telegram channels that we follow for intel here. So this is what he said. So he's actually admitting that this was a weak attack. They shouldn't have even attacked the Americans. If they were going to attack them, this was not a good thing. So he says it was a correct move at the first, and then he says at the end, no attack is better than a weak attack, honestly speaking. So he's actually criticizing, even though he said at the beginning of his statement that he thought it was the correct move not to attack or to have a weak attack against the U.S. as symbolic. I don't know. That don't make any sense. But anyways, so where does it go from here? I don't know. I guess that was just a weak response to save face. It's over. Just like it began. and the price of crude oil goes down. Okay, let's just see what crude oil is right now. Out of curiosity, it was at $81 a barrel. Crude oil prices. Let's see. Yeah, it plummeted right after the attack. Look at this. It did go down. So it was at $74 a barrel, and then it went down to $70. So from what I understood, it went up to 80 just recently. Like, did it go to 80? I guess it didn't go to 80. Well, I know there's different types of crude oil. There's different grades of crude oil. And some oil goes up. Like this one is 78.12 Louisiana Light. It's kind of like beer. It's all different. There's different types of beer, like there's ale, and then there's, it's just all, just the cheap kind, and then there's the good kind. And so I guess it depends on which kind of crude oil you're talking about. So it says Trump orders oil sector to keep prices low after strikes on Iran. Breaking news. Is that crazy? So I guess it's because Trump ordered everything to be low. He doesn't want it to go high. Everybody listens. Okay. So he says, don't raise prices. Everybody's like, yes, sir. We won't raise prices, sir. You are the commander, sir. We always say, sir, because you say it's good to say, sir. You are the president, sir. All right. So why am I up here like this? This looks stupid. All right. What does that say there? Lamy warns Iran against Hormuz blockage. Who's Lamy? Okay, Foreign Secretary David Lamy has warned Iran that blocking the Strait of Hormuz could be a catastrophic mistake following the recent U.S. attacks on Iranian nuclear facilities, a move that could significantly impact global oil prices and economic stability. All right. All right, guys. Well, I guess that's about it for right now. I think that we're pretty much past the bad stuff, maybe, hopefully. Maybe nothing more will come of this. Maybe it'll just die out. We'll go back to peaceful living and low gas prices and, the golden age. It's upon us. Tracking, tracing, surveillance for all. All you got to do is get your big, beautiful shot with all the nanotechnologies that will be swimming through your veins and arteries, self-assembling and coding your cerebral cortex to make you a part of the Internet of Bodies so that they can use you as a node to their Internet of Things, Internet of Bodies, and you can become a part of the Borg. Now you are one with the Borg. You have now been plugged into the operation and the plan of the beast. But hey, it's all good. It's a golden age. So I guess you guys are all good with that, right? How many of you gonna take that big beautiful shot? How many of you guys are on board? Because they got a lot of these mRNA big beautiful shots coming. You know that, right? And contrary to Maha and Muhuhahaha, Maha and Maga and Muhahahaha. I always think of Dr. Evil when he was like, Muhahaha, Muhahaha. Remember that? Did you guys ever see Austin Powers when Dr. Evil and they were all like laughing? Evil laugh. Muhahaha. It's Maha. Okay, just let me look at a couple more. I got a couple more things popping up here. Let me just look at this. Trump has no intention of a retaliation against Iran after its failed retaliation attempt, says U.S. officials. Oh, God. This makes Iran look so bad. It makes them look kind of weak. It really does. And this is why, they're doing this. Let's see. Now, if they do something that actually does cause damage and that does harm America in some way following this, then maybe. But at this point, nothing came of it. I mean, probably just symbolic. Oh, man. So I just got confirmation that there has been no impact at the Al-Assad air base in Iraq. Sources have just confirmed. Trump says no intention of retaliation against Iraq. Okay, that's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. But there we go. We're all good. No injuries were reported to the CENTCOM commander. All personnel in the Middle East are safe. So nobody was hurt. Nothing major happened. Just a few symbolic explosions here and there. And everybody's good. Can we get on now with the world? Probably not. Okay, this was video that came out here real quick out of So Iran says that the missile barrage on Qatar was the same number as bombs that were used by U.S. on nuclear sites, signaling a desire to de-escalate. So this was their way of saying, hey, we have to respond, but we're going to de-escalate. Your bombs were like 1,000 times bigger than our little rockets and missiles, but hey, we used exactly the same amount as you used. So there you go. Really, this is some of the visuals of people running in terror in Qatar a short while ago as missiles were incoming. This was inside of a, which looks to be a very modern looking, which looks to be like a very modern looking mall. This looks like a very nice mall. Let's post that really quick here. And then I think that's it. I think that's all we got here. Okay, we just got word that there are now explosions inside of Tehran. So it looks to me that probably the Israelis are taking advantage of this for another round of put your nose into the dirt here. So it looks like that there is retaliations happening right now back at Iran. Explosions are now being heard in Tehran. Okay. Let me just see if we have a feed of Tehran here on YouTube. Let me just see if we've got a live feed here. It'd be interesting to see here. A live cam out of Tehran. Air defenses are now being activated. Okay, something's going on right here. This is the Tehran skyline, but they're showing something in this. Oh, there is something going on here. This is not. Hold on a minute. Something's going on here. Okay, this has got to be. This is live here. I'm just wondering if this is Okay, no, I got the wrong feed. All right, I thought I was on AP. Psh, no wonder. I thought I was on AP, but okay, sorry. That was my mistake. I thought for some reason that was AP. Precision bombs. Did this just happen? No, that's not happening. I'm just trying to see if I can find a live feed here. Okay, this one should be a live feed here. All right, so the Tehran feed here is, okay, so there's Qatar on the left, and Tehran is right there on the right, the top right. Israel is also bombing the Gaza Strip right now, too. Ishan area is down below on the bottom left-hand corner, and Tehran skyline is the top right. It looks like there's some kind of a fire over there. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but I'm thinking maybe I can kind of blow that up. Let's blow that up really quick. Blow it up in a good way. I mean, not a bad way. Hold on. We can just make this the full screen here. What do you think? This right here is the, and I'll show you here so I get it. All right, so that right there is Tehran. That is a Tehran cam, but I don't see, I don't know what that is in the background, if that is some kind of an explosion or some kind of fire or something in the back. That is a pretty bright light, straight down, and it does look like it's flickering. So I'm wondering if that is, let's scroll back and see if that is anything. Okay, so I just scrolled back about 20 minutes. Let's just see when that thing started getting bright. Just out of curiosity there. You see that little light? It's just really dim right now, but it gets brighter and brighter. I'm wondering what that is. This was 7 minutes ago. You see how it got brighter? Anyway, this is a current footage right here. Live footage here. But it does seem that everything kind of mellowed out here. Watching Iranian channels now on the cope mode. How are they going to cope with this? Air defenses have been activated over Tehran. So Iran is to launch more missiles toward Israel in a short period of time. This is what is being said right now. Uh-oh. Okay, so more information is now coming out that, see, that's why they said they wanted to focus their attention on Israel. So more missiles launches against Israel right now from Iran is planned. Is that what they're saying? That's what they're saying. Iran has to do something to kind of save face again. And I don't think they wanted to really respond to America in the way that, you don't want to try to hit a big behemoth because they're going to like crush you in a moment, especially the way Trump is. So maybe they didn't really want to do anything big. They didn't want to hurt anybody from America for the purpose of not getting crushed. But they're really wanting to take out their anger and their retaliation on Israel. So I bet they're going to have a big response again toward Israel. Normal movements have returned. Normal movement returns over the Middle East. Most of the jets have retreated. HFC is monitoring the situation. What is HFC? HFC? I have no idea what HFC is. Trump's strange God talk has people concerned. This is the Daily Beast. I'm kind of curious what that is. Let's look at that really quick. Now, I know the Daily Beast is kind of extreme liberal kind of mindset, but I like to look at everything. I'm not a person that doesn't look at things because, they're not in agreement with me. I listen and I look at everything. I take everything in, and I kind of figure there's got to be a happy medium somewhere in there. Trump makes war announcement. Let me just see this really quick. This was dated today.
Thank you very much. A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been...
Really quickly, we're getting reports now that Kuwait is closing its airspace, and Qatar is planning on responding against Iran. Even though Iran made and reached out to Qatar to say, hey, we're brothers, don't attack us back. We're not really trying to get you. We're only trying to hit Americans. They're now saying they were going to respond to Iran. So Kuwait is now closing its airspace. That means something else is happening. So just to let you know.
Killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades.
Sorry about that. I'm sorry. I just wanted to say in response to what they are saying here about Trump and his God talk, they said is kind of strange. Well, you know, this is his appeal to the evangelicals. In my opinion, this is what Trump is actually doing is he's making his appeal and he's trying to shore up his evangelical base. Because I really don't think Trump in his heart really is where this is. You know, they said it sounded insincere, but I'm going to listen to that last part because I don't know if I heard that last part. But it says here, he says, I want to thank everybody, in particular God. I just want to say we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East, and God bless Israel, and God bless America. And he basically says that many on the left were quick to point out how insincere Trump sounded, particularly given Trump's own relationship with religion. During his first term, a Pew Research Center survey found that most Americans did not see Trump as particularly religious, with only 7% of American adults viewing him as very religious. Critics included Democrat streamer Dean Withers, who tweeted, "No, Trump, God doesn't want another war in the Middle East." Another user highlighted that the fact that Trump mentioned Israel before he mentioned the U.S. That's true. He did. He mentioned Israel first. Trump ended his press conference saying that God bless Israel before he even said God bless America. That should tell you everything you need to know. He did say that too. Let me see this part here. Oh, okay. Others posted reactions to images. Others posted reaction images to Trump's message from God's perspective, including a GIF of Denzel Washington slamming the door in someone's face and an image of a woman throwing her hands up in defeat. Anyways, so that's just kind of the take of the Daily Beast, which is very, very liberal, as we said. But I wanted to hear the last part of that. Let's just listen to that really quick.
Hopefully we will no longer need their services in this capacity. I hope that's so. I also want to congratulate the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin Kane, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved.
Another thing about this general, Raising Cain, they call him Raising Cain. First of all, Cain was not a good symbolic. It just, to me, it has messaging there that, you know, if you were to symbolically look at it on the face, it's not a good image. Just like his spiritual advisor's name is Cain. Did you know that? Last name Cain. Cain is the one that killed Abel. But Raising Cain, if you look at what Raising Cain means, what does Raising Cain mean? So they call him Raising Cain. I'll tell you what Raising Cain means. Raising Cain, often spelled Raising Cain or Raisin Cain, means to cause commotion, create a disturbance, or make trouble. It's a slang term with the origins in the biblical story of Cain and Abel. So they're calling him Cain. They're calling him a troublemaker. He's one of the most he's one of the most respected and praised generals that Trump is facilitating his lead on all these military campaigns that we're doing. So he's literally putting Cain, Raising Cain out there in the front. Raising Cain is his name.
I also want to congratulate the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin Cain, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Cain, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel, and God bless America.
I wonder which God he's talking about. I mean, you know, he has a lot of different gods in statues and representations inside of his penthouse. He has Apollo, which really Apollo is Apollyon in the Book of Revelation, which is the beast that comes up out of the abyss. He's got Eros. He's got statues in commemoration of a lot of Greek goddesses and gods that populate his penthouse. And actually, he's got two different references to Apollo. So for some reason, he really likes Apollo, and Apollo is a god that we should all be very aware of, is referenced very prominently in the Book of Revelation. And why wouldn't he have, maybe more imagery of Christianity if he was such a God-serving, worshiping? And when you say God, anybody can say God. Thank you, God. I hear it all the time in speeches that are given, during the awards for people in Hollywood, all the time, always thanking God. God, if it wasn't for God, it wasn't for God. Well, what does that mean? I mean, are you talking about Ishtar? Are you talking about, Ra? Are you talking about Allah? I mean, who are you talking to? God who? God who? Tell me who? Who's God? Are you talking about, because Trump did say there was a lot of people that were high-level cabinet members that said Trump converted to Judaism, so maybe he's talking about Hashem? Maybe he's talking about Yahweh. I don't know. Their idea of what God is. But really, what is God really in the details, the specifics of involvement in your personal life? What does that mean? Is it an angel of light God that's going to come as an angel of light performing lying signs and wonders? Because the Bible says that's going to happen too. We got some more things happening. Airborne over Saudi airspace. It looks like airspaces are now okay, so I'm getting two different messages here. Hold on. Iraqi airspace is closed. Turkish jets are now over northern Syria. I'm seeing if there was part of a U.S. coalition to intercept